В Баку состоялась церемония открытия 13-й сессии Всемирного форума городов. Президент Азербайджанской республики Ильхам Алиев и исполнительный директор программы ООН по населенным пунктам Анна Клаудия Розбах встретили принимающих участие в сессии глав государств и правительств, руководителей делегаций.
His Excellency Nga Korming, President of the Assembly of the United Nations Settlement Program. His Excellency Irakli Kobahidze, Prime Minister of Georgia. Her Excellency Albana Koçu, Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Albania. His Excellency Stasa Kosarac, Deputy Chair of the Council of Ministers of Bosnia and Herzegovina. His Excellency Sai Samal, Deputy Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia. Her Excellency Mariam Nawaz Sharif, Chief Minister of the Province of Punjab of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. His Excellency Tomáš Taraba, Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Slovakia. His Excellency Deryageldi Orazov, Chairman of the State Committee for the Construction, Turkmenistan. His Excellency Oleksiy Kuleba, Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine. His Excellency Igor Sergeyenko, Chairman of the House of Representatives of the National Assembly of the Republic of Belarus. His Excellency Zhang Wuqing, Vice Premier of the State Council of the People's Republic of China. His Excellency Oljas Bektenov, Prime Minister of the Republic of Kazakhstan. His Majesty King Mswati III, King of Eswatini. Her Excellency Ilyana Yotova, President of the Republic of Bulgaria. His Excellency William Samuel Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. His Excellency Constantino Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. His Excellency Sadir Japarov, President of the Kyrgyz Republic. His Excellency Mohammed Yunus Al-Manfi, President of the Presidential Council of the State of Libya. His Excellency Tarambir Kokhol, President of the Republic of Mauritius. His Excellency Alexander Vučić, President of the Republic of Serbia. His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, President of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
После церемонии и встречи было сделано совместное фото.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to announce the arrival of His Excellency Mr. Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, as well as other heads of states and governments who are joining us for this special occasion for the opening of WUF 13. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Anna Claudia Rosbach, UN Under-Secretary General and Executive Director of United Nations Human Settlements Program, UN Habitat.
Good Sunday morning in Baku. Beautiful Baku. Welcome to the World Urban Forum 13 in the name of UN Habitat.
Затем был продемонстрирован подготовленный программой ООН по населенным пунктам видеоролик, посвященный открытию ВУФ-13, и представлена культурная программа.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's now a great pleasure to welcome the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan,
Глава нашего государства выступил на мероприятии.
For his opening statement.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, first of all, I'd like to welcome all the participants of the World Urban Forum in Baku and wish the forum success. We have probably the record number of registered participants. This morning I got information that we have more than 45,000 registered participants from 182 countries. So this is the second biggest international event ever held in Azerbaijan after COP29, which was held 1.5 years ago. And I hope that the outcome of the WUF 13 will be as successful as COP29. I think that during these days in Baku, many of our guests who visited us for the first time will have opportunity to know our country, our city better, and to see with their own eyes what is being done in Azerbaijan with respect to urban development. Azerbaijan is situated between Europe and Asia, and always was and is the place where East meets West. And this also is reflected in our country's architecture. So if you walk inside the ancient walls of the old city of Baku and just cross the street, you will find yourself in absolutely modern surroundings of a Baku Boulevard, which used to be free and now is more than 15 kilometers of the seaside promenade area. And next to that are the buildings of 19th century, which were designed and built by European architects. So this natural harmony in Baku between old and new, between the preservation of our historical heritage and need for urban planning and modernization, really is a vivid demonstration of the talent of our ancestors and how we are preserving our historical and architectural heritage. Urban planning, not only for Baku, but for many cities of Azerbaijan, is something which we are working on daily basis. This year, by my decree, was declared the year of urban planning. I'd like to express gratitude to UN Habitat for their support in organization of this event, for cooperation, and for entrusting us with this very responsible duty to be a host of WUF 13. Since 2022, we, together with UN Habitat, held 3 national urban fora in Azerbaijan, in Agdam, Zengilan, and Khankandi, the cities which were under occupation for many years. And today, organizing the global gathering, we once again demonstrate our strong commitment to urban planning, urban development, to our agenda to make life of the people better, and to provide our population with all necessary means in order to feel themselves comfortably. Not only Baku, but many of Azerbaijani ancient cities can be proud of their architecture. I will name just some of them. Shamakhi, once the capital of the state of Shirvanshah, the birthplace of the great Azerbaijani poet of 14th century, Nasimi, has one of the oldest mosques in the world, which was built in 743. Nakhchivan, once the capital of the state of Atabeks, the birthplace of the great Azerbaijani architect Ajami Nakhchivani, has the monument built by him, which is called Mamina Khatun Mausoleum, dated 12th century. Ganja, one of the oldest cities in the world, the birthplace of another great Azerbaijani poet, Nizami Gencevi, of 12th century, today is developing at the same time like Baku, preserving its historical look. Gabala and Shiki, the capital and one of the main cities of state of Caucasian Albania, have numerous historical monuments, and the church in the village of Kish near Shiki is probably one of the oldest in the world. Another example of the talent of our ancestors is the village of Lahij. 15 centuries ago, when the village was created, the people built the sewage system and water pipeline which is functional today. The crown of Karabakh, Shusha, which was under occupation for almost 30 years, now is being reconstructed from almost scratch, and its damaged fortress have been restored. All what I mentioned, and of course Baku with its 6th century Maiden Tower, all these monuments not only have been built by our ancestors, not only survived invasions, devastations, destructions, and being rebuilt and restored by different generations of Azerbaijanis, but are also preserved today. And all of those which I mentioned, everyone can go, see, get inside, and touch. And I think this is the best indication of our attitude to our historical heritage, to our legacy. We are proud of it, proud of our ancient history, which is reflected not only in our music, poems, but also in architecture. And our duty is to preserve it for the next generations. And the next generation will do the same, I'm sure. And today, with all understanding about the necessity of urban development, especially in the capital cities, we must be brave and cautious. I sometimes compare it with a Formula One race in Baku, which, by the way, is one of the few races which is a city circuit. So the speed on the main speedy street is more than 300 kilometers per hour. And then the pilots have to push the brake and squeeze the bullets into a street with a 7 meters width, just 1 meter next to the ancient city wall. So the pilots must be brave and cautious as the leaders, as those who make decisions and those who have agenda of development. We must be brave in development, in creation of better conditions for our people, in modernization, but at the same time very cautious when it comes to the preservation of our historical heritage. One of the main tasks for our government now is the reconstruction of Karabakh and Eastern Zengezur, the area which was under Armenian occupation for 30 years and which suffered a total destruction and devastation. International observers and visitors compared, for instance, Aghdam with Hiroshima. They called it the Hiroshima of the Caucasus because the city just did not exist. They were totally level to ground, and unlike Hiroshima, it was done not in one day as a result of atomic bomb, but it was done during 30 years of occupation when the buildings, historical buildings, and public buildings and houses were just dismantled, completely destroyed. So now the program of Big Return is being implemented, and the master plans for cities and villages are prepared. I can, of course, bring a lot of figures, but only bring two. The length of the tunnels which we are building now in 5 years. 70 kilometers have already been built, 5 more to be built, 435 bridges have been built out of 500. So this was done along with power stations, along with water supply, water storages, houses, schools, hospitals, free international airports, railroads, and this was done only in 5 years. And this is how the owners of the land behave, unlike those who come only to demolish, to destroy, and to bring sufferings. Today, more than 85,000 of Azerbaijanis already live in the former occupied territories. They work, they live, they study, and their employment is also one of the important targets in front of our government. So prior to building the apartments and private houses for them, schools and hospitals, of course we have to do demining, but at the same time we have to think about employment. So numerous industrial zones which are already created and will be created in those areas definitely will support the rapid return of hundreds of thousands of people who were deprived from their fundamental right to live on their own land. Talking about Baku, a couple of things more. We had to do a lot of environmental works. Baku was the first city in the world where the oil was produced back in 1846. And throughout these 180 years, almost all these years, there was zero respect to environmental protection. So Baku was heavily polluted. And if I name some parts of Baku like Black City, Bibibat, Berkshire, maybe for foreigners it doesn't mean anything, but if you have time to visit these places and to have some video footage or pictures how they looked, say 20 years ago, and how they look now, you will see what has been done in order to create environmentally friendly space in Baku. Instead of Black City, which was heavily polluted, and that is why it was called Black City, today we have White City, the model of urban development. It's a city inside the city. Another demonstration of urban development is a resort city, Sea Breeze, and I highly recommend our visitors to go there, especially those who like to swim in cold water. I know some of them there in this hall, to go just to see another example of the modern urban development. In the last 20 years, we created 100 parks and square gardens in Baku, and 19 have been totally renovated. Environmentally friendly cities with quick access to public transportation, micromobility, underground, modern buses which generate their power from electricity. All that is being done as a whole concept for the capital. And not only capital. As I said, in many parts of Azerbaijan, the urban development goes very rapidly. And definitely this important gathering and expertise of our friends from United Nations and numerous guests who visit us will help all of us to learn more, to learn from each other, to learn positive experience, and also to talk about our mistakes. There have been many mistakes made in the process of development, but I think that period is already in the past. Don't want to take much of your time. I can also speak as a guide for Baku, but I think better will be for you to see everything with your own eyes. I wish all the guests pleasant stay in Baku and the World Urban Forum success. Thank you.
Затем были продемонстрированы видеообращения генерального секретаря ООН Антонио Гутерреша и председателя Генеральной ассамблеи ООН Анналены Бербак, адресованные церемонии открытия. Генеральный секретарь ООН в обращении подчеркнул, что Всемирный форум городов станет импульсом для превращения целей в реальность. Председатель Генеральной ассамблеи ООН Анналена Бербак сказала, это мероприятие также позволяет активизировать действия, связанные с жилищным кризисом. Затем выступил президент ассамблеи и программы ООН по населенным пунктам Нгакор Минг. Он сказал:
Your Excellency, Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Excellencies, Head of State and Government, Madam Executive Director of UN Habitat, Honorable Ministers, Mayors, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is a profound honor to stand before you in the historic city of Baku At the crossroads of the ancient Silk Road and a city of the future with its modern skyline on the Caspian Sea, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the government and the people of Azerbaijan for their extraordinary hospitality and vision. I also acknowledge the message delivered to us by UN Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres and the President of the General Assembly, Ms. Lena Baroque. We take note that the global urban agenda has never been more urgent as the basis for multilateral cooperation. Excellencies, as Baku becomes the capital of the world during this 13th World Urban Forum, let us recall a fundamental promise. When we fail to provide housing, we are breaking a promise to our children. Hence, the theme of this global forum, Housing the World, Safe and Resilient Cities and Communities, is not merely a slogan, it is a call to immediate action. But let us also remember that this call to action must be grounded in the real world and in the real economy. It might be aspirational to want to house the world, but we will only be boiling the ocean if we do not have the political will, the right policy, and the economic resilience to build and house all our citizens. According to UN Habitat, the world is facing a global housing crisis, affecting nearly 2.9 billion people, with 1 in every 4 people living in informal settlements. Furthermore, over 2 billion urban dwellers will be impacted by an increase of at least 0.5 degrees Celsius by 2040. For those trapped in inadequate housing, these are not just numbers. They represent a critical threat to survival. As President of the UN Habitat Assembly, I see these pressures converging. Yesterday, over 80 ministers gathered here for an informal ministerial meeting to prepare for the high-level midterm review on the new urban agenda in New York. All of us, in our own way, are grappling with similar urban challenges. However, if we unite in common shared purpose, we shall overcome together. I'm here to tell you that we do not to face it alone. Instead, let us double our efforts to localize the implementation of the new urban agenda to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. As you know, the Habitat Assembly established the Intergovernmental Working Group on Adequate Housing for All. This is our historic platform for multilateral cooperation, the bridge that connects global policy to local delivery. Excellencies, while I stand here as President of the Assembly, I'm also guided by the experiences of my home nation, Malaysia. This journey implementing the new urban agendas is guided by our Malaysia Madani vision. We have delivered over 1.1 million affordable homes, achieving a 77% home ownership rate. We have also surpassed our green targets with the planting over 115 million trees. Furthermore, 60% of the local authorities have completed voluntary local reviews, providing that when government is strong and communities are empowered, the SDGs move from the policy to positive impact on the ground. Excellencies, I ask you today, when you look at your city maps, do not just look at roads and zones. See the faces. See the young entrepreneur in a slum who needs a legal address to start a business. See the families in the coastal cities at risk from rising sea levels. Let us commit to human-centered urbanism. Let us bridge the $5.4 trillion annual financing gap for climate-resilient infrastructure. As I prepare to pass the mandate of President to the United Arab Emirates next year, I invite you all to contribute to WOOF 13, Call to Action. Let us make it a legacy document that is both ambitious and inspirational. Excellencies, head of government, our hosts in Azerbaijan understand the true value and importance of having a home. There's a beautiful saying here, Hakasin os evi, as gib la sidi, means every home is their own center of the world, their sanctuary. The feeling of being at home is especially critical when the world feels unstable, when the institutions falter, and when technology transforms our societies. In those moments, remember this: the future does not belong to those who predict it. It belongs to those who built it. And our task this week, to be the builders of an urban future for all. Once again, I'm inspired by the Azerbaijani proverb that resonates deeply with our work. Dama dama go okala, aha aha sel okala. Drop by drop, a lake is formed, and by flowing, a river is made. Let us take the wisdom from the Azerbaijan and make this a better world. So every policy you debate, every partnership you forge, and every commitment you make in the Baku call to action is a drop of hope. Together, let us create a river of action that carries us towards a future, and no one and no place is left behind. I hereby wish you all a productive and transformative WOOF 13. Thank you, terima kasih, Chok Sakalun.
Выступившая на мероприятии исполнительный директор программы ООН по населенным пунктам Клаудия Росбах сказала:
His Excellency Dr. Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, His Excellency Mr. Ga Korming, President of the United Nations Habitat Assembly, Excellencies, Heads of States and Governments present, Ministers, Honorable Representatives of Member States and local authorities, distinguished colleagues and guests, all protocols observed. Let me correct my initial welcome. I wanted to say welcome to a sunny day in Baku. It is Monday. Well, note that we all have to work this week, and very hard. Excellencies, we may not know what the future holds, but we do know the realities people face today: the climate crisis, displacement, conflict, and destruction. Amid these challenges, over 1 billion people still live in precarious conditions, without reliable access to water, sanitation, electricity, decent work, or education, trapped in poor health conditions where disease spreads and children suffer most. This is the world where most people will soon live in cities. Cities where many young people, older persons, migrants, and newcomers cannot afford to live. Cities where more people are pushed onto the streets and into informal settlements. Cities increasingly divided between those who have and those who do not. Excellencies, colleagues, it is no surprise that tens of thousands of us from communities around the globe to high-level leaders are gathered here in Baku to address one critical question: how In this era of uncertainty, instability, and destruction, can adequate housing be made available to all? Despite the intense rainfall and thunderstorms that have affected parts of Azerbaijan in recent days, we could see that yesterday, Your Excellency, we have come together here in Baku with resilience. This is what we call for cities. Determination and a shared sense of purpose. This is the reality of many cities today, and we deeply appreciate the team spirit, the quick reaction, and your flexibility that brought us today to this beautiful venue. Thank you so much. The level of interest and participation in WOOF 13 has been truly exceptional. Never before has a forum of this nature brought together such a vast and diverse global audience, reflecting the growing recognition that housing and sustainable urban development are central to our collective future. So, let us remind ourselves that collectively, we are not starting from scratch. Across all regions, housing is becoming a central policy priority, linked to economic growth, social inclusion, and climate resilience. Across Africa, governments are advancing affordable housing, informal settlements upgrading, and infrastructure investment. In Asia and the Pacific, several countries are pursuing urban renewal, affordability, and large-scale housing expansion. In Latin America and the Caribbean, social housing and transit-oriented development are gaining momentum. In the Middle East, housing is increasingly tied to economic diversification and demographic change, while in Europe and North America, governments are strengthening affordable housing, rent regulation, and supply-focused reforms in response to growing urban pressures. Friends, as the world turns its attention to housing, let us also remind ourselves of the common principles and perspectives we already share. We recognize that the housing crisis is a crisis of equity, resilience, and human rights, and that the future of our cities will be shaped not by exclusion, but by inclusion. Cities cannot thrive when housing systems fall. We know that when people lose their homes, they lose far more than walls and roofs. They lose safety, livelihoods, and a sense of belonging. Recognizing that the right to housing is increasingly threatened by climate change, we also share a growing consensus that climate action and housing policy can no longer exist in separate conversations. Recovery begins with housing, and resilience begins at home. The homes we build today must withstand the climate realities of tomorrow. We therefore share the conviction that housing must move from the margins of policy to the center of global action. As we explore the economic and financial dimensions of housing, we collectively recognize that housing is a social necessity and also a powerful economic engine. Realizing the social and economic potential of housing requires financial systems that finance homes, not speculation. The midterm review of the new urban agenda has confirmed both the urgency of today's urban challenges and the enduring value of the commitments made in Quito. WOOF 13 is an opportunity to accelerate implementation through practical action, partnerships, and investments. It is time to focus on solutions. What are the pathways to achieving adequate housing for all? Where have we gone wrong, and what must we do differently to move forward? Does UN Habitat have the solution to the global housing crisis? Do we have all the answers for the nearly 3 billion people living with inadequate housing, for the more than 1 billion living in slums, or 300 million people experiencing homelessness? I will not pretend that we do. But let me add this. Every one of you, without exception, holds a piece of the answer. And that is precisely what this collective effort is seeking. We do not take lightly the time, cost, and, dare I say, the climate impact of gathering here together. It is both our responsibility and our privilege to listen, learn from one another's experience, and bring our knowledge together. Baku must send a clear message to the high-level meeting of the General Assembly this July. We must move from recognizing the housing crisis to advancing the achievement of the SDGs through concrete policies, investments, and action. My hope is that we leave Baku with renewed confidence that, despite today's global challenges, adequate housing can be within reach for all, without exception. In closing, I would like to thank the government of Azerbaijan for hosting the 13th session of the World Urban Forum. It is now my pleasure to officially declare the session open. Thank you.
Затем был показан видеоролик, посвященный Азербайджану.